Shop this morning? Yes. Yes, thank you for that. Well, then you just have to take my word for it. My beautiful assistant. Is that what I'm supposed to do? I don't think that's going to hold it. Maybe. The easel it goes on, I guess, is. Make sure these are not Sharpies. These are dry erase. It looks just like a Sharpie. I'm like, I'm going to be in trouble with Sister Jessica when I mark on this thing that's permanent. I couldn't get my thing to print this morning. I need somebody that's a computer genius. We need to remember Brother Kerry. He had to work this morning. Got called out in the bad weather. Did he really? Preacher's fixing to get into stuff he shouldn't get into. He needs to keep his mind in his own business, huh? You see the first two? Wealth and health. Thank you, brother. How about this one? I'm the genie this morning. Did you know that? I had him believing I could read minds one time. That was a good one. You know, after that message, people all over the church were going, I was so afraid you were going to walk up to me. Wealth, health, fame, education, career. Preacher's not saying there's anything wrong with any of these things. If you're wealthy, share the wealth. No, I'm joking. If you're wealthy, praise God. I'm tickled for you. I guess what I'd like to do first is I'd like to, Sister Michaela, would you mind standing up? Which one of these would you like to have if I could give you one of these? Let's say you were putting these in order. What would you say was the first thing you'd like to have? She's like, if I had the first one, I don't really need any of the other ones. Trust me, if you're wealthy enough, you're famous. Right? Yeah. Kardashians have proved that. No talent needed. Huh? Health? I mean, everybody has, you know. Sister Loma would probably jump on the wagon with that one. If she was to choose one of these, she'd say, I'd like to have health. The older you get, you're going to find out that this is, you can't buy it. You can't buy this. Health kind of is one of them things is, you know, I found out the first time I got into a table saw with my thumb, I tore it up, and it still feels the same way it did when it healed up. It's like the nerves are right on the edge of the skin right there, and if you just touch it just right, it kind of, hey. And that's been, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe longer, 25 years ago, actually. And some things, you know what you'll find out? Here, young people, here's your good one. Take care of your health. Because some things you don't get, it's not like you go down to the automotive store and get another thumb. I'm stuck with that thumb now forever. Amen? Somebody else, put the call. Yeah. You could choose one of these. What would it be? Education. Education, all right. Brother Carl likes this one right here. Brother David, you got one of these? Health. Health, yeah. It's amazing how us, the young and old, are both saying health. Yes, Brother Scott.
For you young kids, the left column, wealth, fame, career. It's zero.
It's zero. It doesn't really in the long run.
Health and your education or everything.
Sister Alicia, I see you nodding your head. What do you think? Which one of these would you pick? I'm asking you to be honest. I thought somebody would have said wealth by now.
I'd say
education. All right. Not going for that one. Brother Victor. Yeah, go ahead, Sister.
well, I had thought wealth doesn't have to mean money.
No.
You can be wealthy in other aspects of your life.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess when I thought of wealth, I tell you what I thought of wealth, and I thought about it just before we walked in here, is that I think of wealth, I think, how many, if I was asked this question, how many of y'all would not like to have to worry about money anymore? I'm serious. Number one fight in the household, still number one cause of divorces and problems at home is money. How many know that you've had some arguments and discussions and tension, we'll call it tension, and it came over wealth? I mean,
men worry more about their wealth than almost anything else.
well, I'm talking about where you didn't have to worry about it. Let's say it's in, it's in gold, and you just pull a piece out of it once in a while and spend it. I don't know. I'm just asking you, if you could have one of these, would you like to be financially stable where you didn't have to struggle about bills? My sister, my niece had a major car wreck. Matter of fact, thank you all for your prayers. She is okay. She did crack a bone in her neck. My niece, I said my sister did, my niece cracked a bone in her neck. But when I talked to her, she said, she sent me back this text, well, she's really depressed because it was her only car. I said, well, maybe we can, I said, maybe we can help her, get a down payment, and then she can get her another. Yeah, but I don't know how she'd make the payments. And I said, worrying about payments is what we all do. That's just part of life. Worrying about how you're going to pay the bills. Welcome to society. Welcome to adulthood, guys. Y'all are so ready to get out of home. Be ready to worry about bills. Because that's part of leaving home. Now it's your responsibility to worry about bills. Okay, somebody else got one. Brother Scott.
Well, there's an old saying that you use your health to get wealth, then you use your wealth to keep your health.
I like that.
Well, that's an old, you're not there yet.
Brother, I agree with that saying too, because I used this body as much as I could as I was growing up, pouring concrete, doing wood, everything, building houses, building buildings, doing everything, and now my body's it's going south, and I'm like, I might start using my head more, because my body's going left field. Amen. Anybody else got one, sister?
The thing is if you don't have health, none of the other matters, like we said before. There's wealthy people die every day, you can't buy it.
Yeah.
There's famous people that die every day because of their health. It doesn't matter if you're educated, if you have a career, if you're rich, if you're famous, if you have bad health, nothing's going to save you. The quality of your life is great.
Yeah, but if you don't have the wealth, you can't pay for it.
What, brother? What do you say?
Even if you're old.
Or if you're old.
Or if you're old, then health becomes a big deal. But how many of y'all, when you're 20 years old, are worried about health? I didn't worry about it at 20. I didn't worry about it at 30. I didn't worry about it at 40. 50, it kind of crossed my mind. I actually became right around the 50. Matter of fact, at 48, I got life insurance for the first time in my life, I think it was. No, I think I was younger than that. I was 43. But it's because my health was starting to get a little, at times I had to, maybe my family needs to be protected, I decided I better get life. Yes, somebody back there. Sister Amy, did you raise me?
Yeah, he did too, but if I had to choose one, I would choose wealth. And for that reason is what's wrong with my health, only money can fix it. Because I'm anemic and insurance won't pay for the iron transfusions I need. Which if my health's good, wealth can also pay for to finish my education, to get to go to law school, which will help my career. And with what I want to do with it, it could possibly lead to somewhat of a statewide fame.
So some of these things, I like I'm glad she did this the way she did it. In other words, some of these things you could actually see them in an order.
Yes.
If I had this, then I'd have this, then I could have this. If I was to choose, this is number one, this is number two, number three. Now, I've got something else. Can I add one more thing to the list?
It goes on top. Jesus provides all this.
Jesus. Sister, can you pull up Deuteronomy? That opened my phone up. Like I said, I couldn't print this, so I had to go to my phone. It's Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 10 through 20. The truth is we, whether you want to admit it or not this morning, each one of us are choosing one of these each day.
Yes, sir.
We do. We are choosing one of these every day. And only you can tell me which one of these you choose each day. I know that if I was to ask for everybody to stand up right now, and if I was to ask you one at a time, in a church full of people that everybody would go, I choose Jesus first. That'd be the first answer. But the fact is, do we really choose Jesus before these other things? I'd like to read you out of Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 10 through 20. And it shall be when the Lord thy God shall have brought thee into the land which he sware thy fathers. Is this King James? Sister, would you mind bringing this up?
Oh, sorry, no.
Yeah, I was going to say this isn't looking right at all to me. Probably looking just right to Brother Lynn. But there we go. When the Lord your God brings you into the land he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give you the land with large, flourishing cities you did not build. In other words, this thing's already going to be, how would y'all like to move into a place, the house is already there and everything, and all you got to do is just claim it. God says, hey, it's all yours. Houses filled with all kinds of good things you did not provide. Wells you did not dig, and vineyards and olive groves you did not plant. Then you eat and are satisfied. Be careful that you do not forget the Lord, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Fear the Lord your God, serve him only, and take your oaths in his name. Do not follow other gods, the gods of the people around you. For the Lord your God, who is among you, is a jealous God, and his anger will burn against you, and he will destroy you from the face of the land. Do not put the Lord your God to the test, as you did at Manasseh. Be sure to keep the commands of the Lord your God and stipulates the decrees he has given you. Do what is right and good in the Lord's sight, so that it may go well with you, and you may go in and take over the good land the Lord promised on oath to your ancestors. Thrusting out all your enemies before you, as the Lord said. In the future, when your sons ask you, what is the meaning of the stipulations, decrees, and laws the Lord your God has commanded you? Do 21 also. Tell him, we were slaves to Pharaohs in Egypt, but the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. So many times, I could sit there and I could ask you, hey, which one of these are important to you? And each one of us are going to say the truth. If we were to tell the truth, it would be like, the fact is that I could say that Jesus is number one. But if this is always on my mind, and if this is what motivates me, and if this is what really gets me up in the morning, then wealth is going to be. If this is my conversation all the time, if this is all I think about, if this is what I put my trust in, I don't care what it is. I know we didn't have many young people say it, but the fact is, I've talked to young people all the time, and I got to tell you what, it seems like fame. They feel like if you're famous, all that other stuff takes, you don't even have to have an education if you're a really good ball player. Man, they get paid $27 million, $100 million. Some of them getting contracts for $100 million. That's like 1 in a billion. Think about it. 1 in a billion people gets a contract for $100 million. The rest of us, we struggle to skate. I went to a skating place last night. We struggle to skate. Some people got it. Very few people that got it enough to get those $100 million at 54 or 53 years old are able to still do it. Amen? You better take care of what you got. I looked up the other day, and Brother David, I looked online, and I was actually watching some Christian videos. And somehow it took me over to another spot, and it had famous people that were Christians. And it started going down the list, and I was amazed. And at the people that choose God. One of my favorite actors, Denzel Washington, is a Christian. And I got to thinking about it. I don't think I've ever heard him in all the times I've watched, the movies I've seen with Denzel Washington. I heard some guys say some bad language around him, but I'll be honest with you, I never heard Denzel Washington say one bad word. And it started to click, and I was like, has he been a Christian all this time? Ends up, he'll get up and speak in front of universities, and one of the first things he says, you've got to have God. You've got to have God. All the rest of this stuff, it's going to come and go. But you've got to have God. And I was like, what? I heard one of his speeches, and I was like, are you kidding me? So many times we think these things, and let me tell you something. I could sit up here and say, I know what's important. But the fact is, Brother Lee, I can tell you that I know that Jesus Christ is what's really going to matter. But I can't change what each one of you is thinking about right now. I can't change which one of these things come Monday morning, that's going to be on your mind. Now guys, I know you got to go to school. And I realize, Sister Morgan, you got to get your education. You're in school. I mean, you're not there to twiddle your thumbs. I know, hey, brother, some of you guys, I know that's what you think school's for, becoming a professional thumb twiddler, but it's not a fact. They have no professions for thumb twiddlers. Brother Kamari says, really? To tell you the truth, Brother Kamari always brings up about football. He needs to get that education. Because football may or may not happen. He's going to be a big guy. Football's very likely going to happen for him. Who knows? But then again, he might be playing football one day and break his wrist in such a way, or break his knee in such a way that football's out of the question. The fact is, when I thought about this message, the Lord showed me something. He said, Kenny, people will say that they're choosing me. But on Monday morning, it's a totally different ballgame. Come Monday morning, they're choosing one of these things over me. And the fact is, there's nothing wrong with wealth. I could show you, I actually had the scriptures in Mark and Matthew and Luke where Jesus is talking about the rich man. And the rich man, you know what got me about that story? It's in the book of Mark, I think it's in chapter 10 also. What gets me about that story is this young man comes up to the Lord and he's excited about serving God. How many of you come to church and are like, I'm excited about serving God? I get that way every once in a while. Brother Clark, I get excited. Do you ever notice I get excited on occasion? I saw you get that way about that bucket of chicken wings. You and Brother Javen, no, not Brother Javen, you and Brother Michael were looking at those wings and going, they came back, they were empty, and they were still sticking their finger. Oh, such good sauce. Oh, man. I mean, I thought they were going to pick it up and drink it. They were excited about a bucket of chicken wings. I know that we get excited about some things. And we can get excited about God on Sunday. Maybe Sunday morning, then Sunday night, but yeah, that's NFL. So what you're saying is there's something we could say this. We could say this. You know what happened in the story of the rich young ruler? He comes to Jesus. Jesus talks to him and he says, Lord, he actually gets down on one knee and he says, Lord, what will it take to reach the kingdom of God? What's it going to take? And he says, well, you know the commandments. Love thy father. Love thy mother and father. Don't slander. Don't cheat. Don't lie. Don't kill. Goes down some of the 10 commandments. He kind of gives them to him. He says, I've done those since my youth. And it kind of talks like Jesus is actually kind of looking off this way. And he's kind of dealing with some other stuff. And this guy's kind of talking to him. And then it says Jesus turns and looks at him. And he sees something inside of him. He goes, yes, I tell you what you do. You go and sell everything you have. Give it to the poor, and you come follow me. Is he telling every rich person to do that? No. He was telling that young man that you put money in front of God right now. I wonder to myself if he said, I'll do it right now. If Jesus would have said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to double your possessions, and you use those for the poor too. Who knows what he would have said? But God knew, there is something you put before me. The truth is, guys, this morning you all might have said, Jesus is the number one on your list. But if you were being honest with God, He knows better. He knows better. You know better. Because when you get up on Monday morning, what motivates you? What drives you? Can I tell you something? God has blessed my business. He has. I'm not going to lie to you. He's blessed my business. I tell my wife all the time, I said, did you ever think that we'd be, I'm going to say straight out, I never thought I'd make the money I make. Just, that I would be able to do what I can do. But in the same instance, I also make this statement quite a lot, Brother Scott. I realize that He gave me that for a reason. The other day I went by the water department. There was 2 families in this community that had their water shut off. They were already shut off. In the first one, the Minister Orleans helped, Cowboys helped some, and then I put in some money, and we got a water tournament. The other one was kind of a large amount. And sometimes I wonder, why did they let them go so far that they're going to be paying back this large? And just like 5 months ago, Sister Loma, I helped this same family with what's actually a bigger building than this one. And I was like, you know what? I folded the paper up, and I was like, I'm sorry, I really can't do this. I put it in my back pocket. I went on to the job site, did my job, did stuff I did there. As I came back through town later on, and I'll tell you the truth, for over a week I'd been waiting for a big check that was supposed to be here over a week ago. And it was a big check. And when you're in my line of work and you're paying people every day, every day, $5,000 here, $6,000 here, $10,000 here, it's like, you need those checks to keep coming like they're supposed to. It's like when they don't come, it's just like all of a sudden you go, hey, I'm coming back to town, check is not coming. I go by City Hall. And I actually drove by it, but I didn't make the block. I actually pulled through the police station and went in there, and I pulled up there and I said, hey, I guess I am going to pay. And the lady just looked at me and I said, well, God's been very good to me, and He doesn't give it to me to just hold on for myself. He gives me blessings so I can bless others. And I paid their water, and I said, can y'all turn it back on? And they said, yeah. The guy was walking out right then. It was just perfect timing. He was coming out. He said, I just came from turning it off. I'll go turn it back on. Or he'd actually been over there. It was actually, they had something going on over there. He said, I'll go turn it back on. And when I got home, I actually went in the house, grabbed some paperwork, and as I walked out the door, the guy had resent me a check through FedEx, because the other one apparently is just gone. And as I'm walking out the door, Brother Lynn, guess who drives up? FedEx. It has my check.
Praise you, Jesus.
And I told somebody that very moment, I said, this wouldn't be here if I had not stopped and did what I was supposed to do on my way here.
Amen.
Guys, these things happen. I tell you what.